So hello, we are back. And on the other chat, Vernon back said that he can't answer the CAPTCHA in our site that we are using to get the evil bots away. And I'm getting a bad vibe that perhaps we have screwed things up and the English site will have the Finnish CAPTCHA, and no wonder we haven't had new English members in a while. It should be in English, and Dayah will be checking it out right now. Skrmiza has opened a lot, and checking off is going to be strong enough for us to be re-stealing. And hello Kauris. And it's break, it's coffee. I have actually a Starbucks mug here. I just love big mugs because when you are holding this kind of event, it's going to make your throat dry as Sahara Desert. So the more you can drink during times like this, the better. And also coffee is really good in keeping me wired and awake. On the $50 to 5k challenge, I actually noticed I played mostly MTT sit and goes, and on the MTT sit and goes I had some problems. Oh, there's a straight flush for the I have no clue. And that's also one of the rarest straight flushes. You don't see steel wheels that often that are going to be the lowest possible straight flushes. And it's actually quite close because the other guy had sevens with one spade, and with sixes it would have been quite an epic outdrawing. Yeah, Dayah said the registration confirmation question is in English, and that was really good to know. And Vernon back said that he was doing pretty good on the Finnish side of things, except for that part that's in English. And same as the ace 10, it's going to be the meddling hand that we are going to be better off if we are getting the people fold more, because when we are shoving, it's only going to be there is not going to be any bluff option for them, and they will know it because there will be even no bluff button here. There will only be a call button, and that's something that we are trying to do. So we are trying to make the people fold as much as possible, and usually on those kind of spots when I'm having still guys here that are having 12, 14 big blinds ish, I'm thinking that I will be having pretty much 4 ranges. One of the range will be folding range, that there are going to be hands that I'm folding. Then there will be min raise fold, min raise call ranges, that the min raise call range is going to consist on most of the best hands, and the min raise fold range is going to consist on some of the worst hands that are profitable to be shoved as well, and also it's going to be consisting of some of the hands that are not good enough to be shoving there anyway. And I'm not using complete crap as part of my min raise fold range, because it's a real possibility that someone will be flatting, and then I like to have hands that are playing the best they can against the opponents. And run backs. After I register, I just get a blank white page. That's horrible. I think we have checked that the registration works, but I'm checking all of the error logs, that all of the stuff that can have been going wrong, but now Aarnimetsa is in, and that's great.
And thanks for the effort using only Finnish. That's very, very good, but it is also in English just to make things a bit easier for our English-speaking friends. I hope it's okay now and everything's working, and you can always let us know if there is something weird going on. That shouldn't be, obviously, so we'll fix the things.
Yeah, please, if there is something wrong with the site, please use the feedback threads on the forums, or if you can't use the feedback threads because you can't get in, then use the chats on Justin TV or...
The chat is at the front page, at the bottom of the front page. So after you are registered in, you can see that right away.
Registered and logged in, and you can see on the Opera I have here, it's going to be www.pokerimania.com/forum. That's the English side, and then when you are scrolling down, you are seeing the chat on the bottom of the first page.
Oh, thank you, Kauris. Not showing my other things. Yeah, I just got it yesterday and I was really happy about it. Maybe I was a bit treating myself because it was International Ladies' Day yesterday. But I have been looking for something like this for some time now, and then it just came to my eyes and I had to get it.
Actually, we are not having the best of plushies. Just trying to think about what's the best option. It's not going to be... I don't think there will be that much difference between options there when the guy is re-raising us. We are going to be calling the river as well. But if we would be... And here we got lucky with 9s against aces.
Very lucky. And awesome. Vernonbax found the chat. So now everything seems to be in control and we can concentrate on our games.
That's always good, and we are still looking at the Justin TV's chat. And here is actually a pot odds style of thing. When we are having just 5 or 7 big blinds and the button is opening, we are having about 6 big blinds when you are taking antes into account. That we need to do something, and ace 8 is going to be a good hand because his range is also going to be wider there, and now we are having a stack to play with in that game as well. We are actually running, I think we are running really hot on pretty much all of the rebuys, and that's always...
And just like you said.
Yeah.
We hit the straight on the river.
I'm just trying to shape up the bet on the river in a way that it's going to be easiest for them to call. And here with Rex Nelson showing just 3 big blinds, it's still going to be, when there are 2 guys behind me, it's going to be close if it's plus EV. Because with 3s I'm going to be flipping against him, and then it's mainly about how often I'll get these guys to fold.
I know we should be concentrating now on the games, purely on the games, but I just had to mention that last week we were talking about some clothes, and actually today is the first night that I do have a skirt on, but you will not be able to see that, unfortunately. But
I can verify that. She has a skirt on, so...
It does not happen often, but it might happen sometimes. And now back to the games.
And here we are going to get it in good with jacks, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And with 4 big blinds, it's going to be an easy job just to get it in.
But it will be difficult, more difficult to win the pot.
Oh well, we got it in good. That's the most important thing. Would the ace-8 off 6BB hand be good for stop and go? That's actually something that's an interesting idea, and I know exactly which table it is. And that's also something that on the multi-tabling side of things, actually PokerStars now has great hotkeys that we can take a look at on the end of this session, because you can have hotkeys like I'm having a mouse with pretty much all of the possible buttons. I have something like, I think, 8 buttons close to my fingers. So with the mouse I'm having most of the buttons, like I can scroll tables, I can get the active table up from behind other tables, and you have seen that there have been some table management going on. And on the bottom right we are going to be calling with 10 jack suited, because we are getting way too good of a price. That even when we are getting against ace king off, I think we are getting enough equity. And 2-9 off, that's only because I'm thinking about how tight these players are, because sometimes it's going to be profitable to open any 2 cards on the big blinds. Seagull Steven, yeah, I'm going to play only 180-mans tonight. So this is going to be a special for only 180-mans, and I think it's going to be also good to mention why. First of all, with 180-mans you are always having the same situation going on in every table, and you can learn about when will the game change, like what happens at every different stage on MTT game. They play pretty much like MTTs. They are probably, I think that they are the best games to build your bankroll from, because the variance doesn't take, like, you don't need to play 10,000 games to know that if you are profitable or not. You can get your information quicker than that, and that's, I think, something that people are not valuing correctly. And as I said, that there will be some downsides as well for the 180-mans, and one of the worst downsides is that the level of competition is better. If you are just marginal winner on MTTs, you are probably going to be struggling, at least on the turbo 180-mans, because there will be better players playing against you. And with Polo, it's actually close. I'm going to check when the Polo just limped to my small blind, and here I c-bet the flop that doesn't hit his range, doesn't hit practically anyone's range, and he just check called. And when you are in position in these games, you need a reason for not being c-betting in position. And we are trying to get value from him. I think that it's going to be quite likely that he will have an 8 there or some medium pocket pair, and I think that we can get some value out of him. Here it was check on the pre-flop, and then or limp from pre-flop. On flop it was bet and call. And when he bets the turn, I think that we are going to be in bad shape pretty much all of the time. Maybe off topic, but Estonian player name is Ei puutu. Is this Älä koske for Finnish? I actually don't even know about that, if it's don't touch in Finnish, because if I would know that what don't touch means, I would probably have touched something that shouldn't be touched. Because usually if there is something like don't touch somewhere, it's going to be like an invitation on this is something that needs to be touched.
Yeah, puutu it's touch. Koskettaa.
Yeah.
So ei puutu is älä koske, don't touch.
And actually we are running a bit low on games. I have tried to get just the $11 games, the progressive knockouts, because they are going to be probably the most profitable games that can have running here today per game. So I was trying to get as much of those as possible, but even though trying to get as much of those as possible, it's still not going to be a perfect plan, because even as much of those as possible isn't going to be that much.
So Vernon Pax has a hangover, and Korpisotori has one as well, and he promised to come back later when he had some stuff done. I don't know what exactly. So when he's back, you can always ask him that what was your cure for this hangover, or what's the most effective way to get rid of it, because it seems though that you need some kind of support from other members to deal with your situation at the moment.
And here with Jacks it's going to be an easy race call decision, and we are lucky in getting it in good, and we stay lucky that we are good at through the end of the spot. And we are still having one of those rebuys left, and it was quite horrible that I first told you that and now I'm running good on every single game of these, and then I'm going to be busting out every single game in a row, so
please stop. But usually if you just pick one, the biggest one, then it's gonna be all good again.
Yeah, I don't think that during our coaching, if I'm going to be winning just one $60 180 man, it's going to be a winning session anyway. So, and we are getting 4-bet in the 450. That's interesting. If he wouldn't be included in the pot like ever, Queen 10 is going to be plus EV, and I'm a bit unsure if Queen 10 would have been plus EV anyways there. It's a closer spot, because even though he opens UTG, some of the players are going to be playing a wider range from UTG in adjusting to not losing their fold equity from the blinds hitting them on the exact next hands. So,
but if I look at that person and those stats, I think he's not. Well, now they changed again, but on the previous hand, they really looked that he's not one of those players who really think about their stack as a weapon.
I think it's in a way that he will be thinking his stack as a weapon, because I think that he was something like 30/20, so there will be that he's going to be playing very aggressively, and I think that he didn't even have those steals up that high, so he's playing pretty static ranges from every position. That's what increases the likelihood of him playing a baddish hand from UTG as well.
Cheers to Sauherra, welcome. Nice to see you two here. And is the bacon the cure for hangover? We'll see.
Bacon it's just going to be good no matter what. So, and it will be good for you, so it probably will even cure hangover.
So it's good and it will be good and it's going to cure all what may come to your way. Not bad.
Yeah, it's
Bacon
not bad,
is
it's
good.
bacon. I think it's going to be close if Ace 8 is going to be profitable there. And Hoitu asks, why not bigger buy-ins for 180 mens? We are going to be playing the highest 180 mens that run, but we are first trying to play these games that we can't play at the end of our sessions. So we are playing these at the beginning. We are trying to play all of the normal speed ones, and also we are including the rebuys. And we are including the rebuys because the rebuys are also taking, I think they are taking something like on average 30 to 40 minutes longer than, and if you are getting to the end of them, the rebuys are taking close to an hour longer than their regular turbos, so that's something that needs to be taken into account. And on the previous days we have played I think our average for these sessions, these Sunday sessions, have been playing about 1,500-ish in buy-ins. So we have played here Sunday millions, bigger 109s on the previous nights, and there have been some nights that have been with higher buy-ins, some nights with lower. Usually if there is a theme going on, I'm trying to get some theme, and now it just was a good time to include a different kind of theme, I think. And doing the different kind of theme would be the 180 mans.
And if you have any good ideas for the next week's coachings, you can always share them with us. Leave a note on the forum and we'll see what happens next week. It can be almost anything, as long as it's Texas Hold'em, please.
Actually, I'm not completely sure about that. Can it be anything? Because it might be that next Sunday we are not going to play MTTs on this spot.
I'm trying to go through our schedule. Are we going to be somewhere else than here?
No.
What is going to happen next week?
On next week, if I'm getting enough action, there will be a great challenge from Kuutossilli, one of our members, that we are having a similar theme than the from $50 to 5K, but playing only 50/50s. And the 50/50s, I think we are going to have some kind of a special stream on those, and it's going to be also a stream on multi-tabling, and it can get quite sick. We can perhaps even try on a live broadcast what is the limit of sit and goes you can play.
Ooh.
But if it's going to be happening next week, it's going to be broadcasting 50/50s for the next 2 weeks, because that's mostly going to be what I'm playing. And the challenge would be against Kuutossilli that practically I would start with a bankroll of $100, and he will be starting with a bankroll of $1,600. And during 15 days I would need to catch him, and the player with the higher bankroll at the end of this challenge will be the winner. And Kuutossilli has been also, I think he was 12th last year on $2 to $5 50/50s, so he knows the 50/50s. I have played less than 500 50/50s during my career, so it's going to be interesting. And on the 350 plus R, we are even ace-jack. I'm going to get in here. I would be liking to get it in more against his shove, and this might be a slight leak for me to get in too much against an UTG or UTG plus 1 open, because I don't think that in these games people are going to be raise folding from the early spots that much, and they are going to have pretty nutty ranges here.
That's actually a really good question. Does he have to play? Because the ruling was that whoever has the bigger bankroll at the end of that 2-week period will win, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I guess he doesn't have to win. No, he doesn't need to play.
I think he'll need to play. I think it's going to be close-ish in the end, because starting with just $100, that means that even on the lowest level of 50/50s, I can't get more than 44 tables going at the start of it. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting, because also if I'm going to be broke with the $100 bankroll, it's going to be end of the challenge, so there aren't going to be any rebuys. And it can be also interesting that if I'm going to be stuck with just a low bankroll, and so if it's going to be just a low bankroll situation, it might hamper my ability to multi-table during the time. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be close, but if I'm getting good run at the beginning, it's going to be that Kuutossilli really needs to play, and he needs to play well.
And we are taking side bets on our forum. The guys have something on themselves, but if you are interested in that thing more, you can read our Finnish site, and we haven't translated that yet, but we might. I don't know, have you thought about it?
If there's interest in it, then we can translate it, and I'm going to be every day during the challenge there needs to be updates, and I'm probably trying to do quite a few updates during the challenge, and I'm going to do frequent updates, like everyday updates on the English side as well, pretty much similar to the $50 to 5,000 that's getting translated to English. And I think there is only 6 posts remaining, so it's going to be ending the exact day the next challenge will be starting. I'm lying 1-to-1, so for example 100 euros against my 100 euros. Yeah, that's the side action. And now I'm with jacks, I'm thinking about what's the way that we are most likely getting our money in. And actually shoving wouldn't be bad in here, because he has been playing with such wide ranges. I don't think that he's going to be folding that much. And with jacks we are really not that, it's not going to be that nice seeing the flop.
Tupe is asking, can I have off that automatic mouse in Table Ninja?
You can have it off, but for me, when I'm playing with a gamepad, it's having the automatic mouse. It's just going to be. It's going to be one more indication for me where the action is going to be. And also when I'm playing with a mouse, it makes the amount of hand travel less than it would be if I would be playing without the automatic mouse. But you can get rid of it, and with the 350 plus R we are in the chip lead and we are on the bubble. And on the bubble, as a chip lead, we are going to try to abuse the players. Why aren't you getting odds?
Why should you get any odds? That's an interesting question. I think that's a challenge that can be viewed in many ways, but if the other person has 16 times the starting deck than the other player, you can do your own calculations and do the betting regarding that information.
Eurospro, I'm still on the edge that am I doing it for the action that I already have against Kuutossilli? So that's going to be because even though I know that it's going to be 15 days, and 15 days is going to be quite painful when you are playing a lot of tables at the same time. But I think it can be worth it. And one thing also why I'm running this kind of challenge this time around is going to be learning to play 50-50s. Because I'm thinking about including also 50-50s into my sets of hypers to increase the amount of volume I can get with higher buy-ins. So, because I think that on the 50-50 side of things, we are going to be 4-bet shoving queens here. I think it's going to be pretty much the optimal line there, and I think we are going to get called by worse. And here someone on the 350 plus rebuy shoved, and I'm going to take something like 25 BB shove out of there. And why I'm taking 25 BB shove, because I think that it's mostly going to be a small to medium pocket pair, and with nines I'm going to be dominating most of those small to medium pocket pairs. And Eurospro, in case you haven't noticed, Kuutossilli is also playing huge volume. He has played, I think if we would rank the players in a top 10 order by the amount of games played, I think amongst Finns, Kuutossilli would still be in top 10 or top 20, because he has played over 50,000 games, so it's nothing to sneeze at as well. And we have broke the bubble, and I think all the big stacks are in the same table with me right now. And when there are 3 tables, it's going to be there's going to be one big stack that's not on the same table. And when someone 3-bet shoves over me, it's going to be an easy fold with 5s. And if Polkalos calls, there will be a huge stack on the table, pretty much no matter what happens.
Did you have some kind of plan with the 5s, that if there had been other small stacks that had shoved without any big stacks being involved, who would you have called with 2 5s on your hand?
But Vernon backs, it's also the same to the it's going to be interesting for the other direction as well, because he's starting with the bankroll of 1,500, so he's practically never going broke during the challenge. And if he starts playing only after I'm close to his results, I think he's going to be too late then. So, and also I think he's going to think that he's going to be plus EV in the games he's running, and he has 50,000 games to prove that he's plus EV in the games, and when he's plus EV in the games, it's going to increase his likelihood to win the challenge if he plays. So I think he will be playing, and I think we will see surprising amount of games from both players. I'm thinking that Kuutosili is probably going to do something around 2,500 games during the challenge, maybe even close to 3,000. And Vernon backs, if I bust the $100, the bet is over. So I can't rebuy. If I could rebuy to 100 as many times as I would want it, the bet wouldn't have that much effect, because then
Stream stopped.
Everything looks fine on my end. So I'm going to look a bit forward, because Justin TV's servers are receiving data anyway. And left down, actually we already busted from the tournament with minimum cash, so sorry.
So is everything okay now? Kauri said that we are coming back. Is everything okay for the rest of you? Good.
And so I included the bottom left that we busted bottom left with min cash, and that's always not nice to do. And this is again one of those nasty spots without antes, ace 10 off.
Two hands and you're out. Are you crazy? No, that's poker. You cannot be winning if you're not playing. And I think Kuutosili will see that he's not gonna be winning if he's not playing.
And given your guess on Kuutosili's volume, I think you are going for 3k plus games, but how much? I think that I'm going to be playing at least 5,000 games during the
2-week period.
2-week period, so it's going to be, and I'm probably 5,000 games is going to be the minimum I'm going to be playing, and likely would be somewhere around 7k.
So I think it means that I'm going to do the grocery shopping and making the food for next 2 weeks.
And I think I'm going to be trying to broadcast some of these sets, but if I'm having time, because with Justin TV and XSplit I can pretty much broadcast even when I'm playing over 20 tables, so there might be some interesting sessions coming up as well. And I know that when I'm going to be playing from $1,600 deficit, it's going to mean that I'll probably need to win at least 200 or 300 buy-ins more than Kuutosili, so that's going to be interesting. And Vernon backs, what happens if I bust the $100? Then I'm going to lose the challenge. So I can't just play I can't just start with the $100 to play something like $100 50-50s and look for some spot that I'm running really good with the and get something like 500 at the start and start from there, then I'll need to get up from the $100 and I'll need to get up by playing mostly the lowest level games. So it's going to be pretty similar to the $50 to 5k. That challenge neither did have no rebuy as well, and for that challenge it was better because when playing MTT sit and goes, with MTT sit and goes with MTT sit and goes you are having the 50-cent and 25-cent MTT sit and goes, so I think you can start by playing, if you're starting with $25 sit and goes, I think a good player can start from something as small as $20 and work his way up from there. But it's going to be slower than starting with a $50 bankroll, because with $50 bankroll you can play way more tables at the beginning and you don't need to play that many normal speed games, because all the 25-cent games are normal speed games. But for this challenge, 50/50s are going to be only available at the lowest at $1.5, so that's why I think that their requirements are going to be a bit higher.
So Warrenbacks, do you want to translate our conversation with Google Translate, or do you prefer if we translate the whole thing in English as well?
I think we can translate the whole thing in English, because I'm going to be translating most of the posts as well.
Okay.
Or then I'll make you translate the posts.
Yeah, I'm gonna translate. Oh, by the way, it's your job. Screw you. Yeah, and it's gonna be like this for the next 2 weeks. Thanks.
No, it's going to be after the 15th day of...
so the next 3 weeks, because you're probably trying to get some other games before that. Your normal hypers.
Yeah. And we hit straight again.
The second time today.
Yeah. And if Warrenbacks can use Google Translate...
Oh, you can...
I can send you a link.
Hoitu was playing in Sunday Million. And it looks like it didn't end up well. Sad to hear that, blind versus blind.
I think Kauris is getting better and better in English. Day by day, understanding more and more from our discussions.
So I think you are up to pretty much many kind of side bets. I don't know if you had done any specific rules for them yet.
There are specific rules in the thread.
Well, they are.
There are, so... But then, because Google Translate is always going to be slightly crappy, and with Finnish it's going to be especially crappy, like... And that's also pretty much why we are using the CAPTCHA that we are using, because it's hard to even get answers from Google Translate for some of the spammers. Oh, Kauris is not using the translator today, so he's abandoning his training wheels.
Yeah, one time. It doesn't count. Yeah. I was just about to say that one time doesn't make you gay, but I think it was a different spot.
It's way different.
Yeah. So good that I thought before I said it.
Yeah, and so good that you said it after after you thought about it. Yeah, actually, I think that my hat is slightly off to Kauris already, because Kauris has been making really good progress on the sit and go side of things in a short period of time, so just keep it up.
Yeah, there has been really nice crafts in his pluck. Like awesome crafts.
And starting out from quite a small amount. And I think right now you can also see quite a lot on how I'm working the tables when the tables are stacked. And at the end we can also take a look at how the things work behind the scenes. And there is already content on our site as well on how to play poker with a joystick on the general discussions in our English side.
So if you want to know how to play poker like a pro with a joystick, he's the man who knows how to do it. That's especially good if you are grinding a lot, and if, for example, your mouse hand gets screwed somehow.
Yeah, there are a lot of pictures and a lot of text on how to do it.
I think it all started pretty much when you once had some trouble with your right hand, and then you tried to find out different ways to play poker.
Yeah, and I had a PlayStation 3 at home, so I could get like the joystick working by nothing, and then it makes it easier, because if you are playing poker all day long with your mouse, your hand is not going to be, even if you are trying to take ergonomics into account and trying to do everything correctly, it's still going to be really hard. And usually when I'm streaming I'm using the mouse, even though I could have been using the different kinds of hotkeys I'm having. And why I'm using a mouse here, it's pretty easy, because Dayah once told me that it's like the most annoying thing to try to follow me next to me when I'm not playing with a mouse. When I'm playing with a mouse, you can see where my mouse is going, you can see when I'm doing a bet, when I'm checking, when I'm folding. But if I'm using the gamepad buttons, or if I'm using this razor thingy, then I'm not going to. Then you can't see what I have done, and that's going to make the following even more difficult. And yeah, today we have had one min cash from 3.50, and I don't think that you can even say that we are having a tunkkiruni today, because there have been just so few tables that we have played through, so I don't think that it even counts yet.
But Korpisoturi, you have a friend on our forum who has the same symptoms that you have, and there has been pagan mentioned quite a few times to cure that thing you have. So have you tried that for your hangover yet?
And I think during the next hour we could start opening turbos as well, opening 350s and turbos, and not opening normal speed 180-mans anymore.
I think we were at the 4th with the chips when we busted that one tournament with 2 hands.
Yeah, but we were first in chips like 3 hands before that, so
Yeah.
so without even one orbit going through, we got from first place in chips to bust out, so
Oh well, that happens.
yeah. And as you can see, the normal speed sit and goes are getting there. Like, I have played a few of those and they are still in the progress of getting there, so and here I'm pretty much gunning for it. If he's playing aggressively against me when the third diamond hits, then it's going to be a hard spot to play. And Kauris is 4/10 on the $2.5 180. Well, get the trophy, Kauris.
Get the trophy and post it on the forum and do rahastusjahti. Yeah, Korpisatori, Vernonbach's had a hangover. He was complaining about too earlier on, and he started to cure that with bacon. So I was just asking if you had the same cure for your hangover today. I think everybody should have always some bacon in their refrigerator.
Yeah,
It's
bacon
like,
should be mandatory. Like, you even couldn't sell a fridge without having some bacon in it when it's delivered.
it's like ibuprofen, basically. You should always have some of that left. You never know when you're gonna need it.
Markus, it's not going to be okay because I'm playing with the Estonian license, so I can't receive money to my PokerStars account and I can't send money. So that's by the Estonian license regulations. For the bet we are having Chanfes as an escrow, so he's going to be holding the bets, and after the challenge is complete he's going to be shipping the monies to the one that's winning the challenge.
Oh, Markus is saying that Kauris is soon able to pay all his cat's 9 lives. I think there was something wrong with Kauris's cat today, and fortunately he got okay, so he still had some lives left. So we do have some cat lovers amongst our members.
It has been said that the internet is like it's a place that slowly fills itself by cute cat pictures, but we haven't had that happening.
Not yet.
And the 5-minute break is going to be starting, and we are going to use it for the maximum advantage, and we are going to be going on a break, so see you in 5 minutes.